Next up, we have number 4, Mr. Lochie O'Brien. Lochie O'Brien, who didn't play too many games last year. I think he played just the one. He did. He played just the one against Adelaide. Regressed potentially a little bit because he wasn't in the team. Compromised due to the fact that we're in the hubs. They weren't playing proper development games in the VFL. What are your thoughts on Lochie O'Brien in 2021?
Look, I think it's hard with Lock. Like under Bolton, he showed that he probably could have had a bit of a role. But when you look at the guys who brought in, Sard and Williams, like they play the same role, essentially. Williams is going to spend time on the wing. Sard's going to spend time off half-back. They're going to interchange. Then you got Williamson that broke into the side again last year, which was good to see. Like, they're the guys that he's going up against. He's basically 4 or 5 back in the pecking order. And I can't see it. I just can't see him breaking in this year.
Are we in a rush?
No, but that's the thing. I don't think we are, and I think we're kidding ourselves if we think that he's going to make a massive difference to our side. But I don't think he is right now. He's still 20, 21. Like, give him time. Same as with Paddy Dale, right? Like, he's 4 years into the season, but is there a lot of expectation for him to break through? Not really. He doesn't have the same expectation as someone like Samo, which we'll talk about. Samo, he's got a little bit more on his shoulders this year because he has to step up. He's that player that we're looking to genuinely step up and make a difference in games. Lochie can spend time as a development year, I think. And then if we bring in players in the offseason that are going to be a rung above and he still hasn't taken that step in the reserves and he hasn't taken that step in his development, is he trade bait? Maybe. Is he, do we delist him? Maybe. You just don't know. But like you said, there's no rush with Lock at this point.
Yeah. So my understanding of Lochie, he's a wingman. That's what he was brought in for.
Cracking left peg.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember when Teague took over, when he was the caretaker coach in 2019.
Yep.
And I remember him talking about everyone playing to their strengths. And I remember being at a VFL function for the Northern Blues at the time. They were called the Northern Blues. And he actually was asked about Lochie O'Brien. And he said his strengths are, I've told him, run, he's running and he's kicking, long kicking. And that's what he's got to focus on. So I'm hoping that this year that really is the focus. Back in the VFL, back playing the games as they normally are played. And I think he can find some form there, find some confidence. I do feel like he's another one that we've got to get around a little bit. We've got to give him some confidence. We've got to let him grow. It's just so hard because it's finals or bust. We're in that mentality. We're the fans. We want to see success. We're starved, all of that. And it can spill out onto the players. But I'm a little mindful of where he's at. I will say this. I think for me personally, it's all about what's his mentality like, in the contest. Again, 4th year coming up. Yes, he's an outside player, but can we see him play with that real hunger and desire? I know there was a clip put out on the club's Instagram the other day, and there was a kick that he made, and it looked like he didn't follow up, and Cottrell, who was on him, got to the next contest before him. And short clip, but I think people are now really looking for this desire and this effort.
You're going to need it to break into this side.
Absolutely.
I think we're going to be hungry. We're going to be hungry. So, yeah, absolutely. I think it's just a development year for him. See what comes of it.
Yep. You guys at home, let's see what you think. We've got Black Carrot, who made an $8 donation. Thanks very much.
Thank you, mate.
Mr. Black Carrot. He says here, Skill Me Up says, Lob will play well in the VFL. He does kick it well, and he may well feature in the VFL Team of the Year. That would be okay.
I wouldn't mind that.
If he was, really pushing, in the VFL and dominating in the VFL,
yeah.
Would you be okay with that if he didn't play this year or maybe played 5 games?
Yeah, I think even 5 games is a stretch, to be honest. Like, we're going to have a few injuries, I think, for him to be looked at. Like, I think he's that far back in the depth chart at the moment, which is fine. But to that point, like, if he's in the VFL Team of the Year, great. Like, he's shown that he's at least stepping up at that level to go, all right, I've had my development year. I've killed it at this level. I need to have a big preseason in 2021-22 to get into the side in 22. What can I do? So I think that's pretty much spot on.
Yep. Wildy says that he needs to play to his strengths and run all day. His delivery of the ball needs to be elite. He's a depth player. Debbie O'Connor says, give the kid a break. I'm with you, Debbie. Let's give him a break. We're there to criticize when it's warranted, but we do want to give him a break.
We can give these kids a break now too, because we've brought in a support cast. You've got Newman coming back, brought in Williams, brought in Sard. You've got Nunes there as well for depth. We've got a supporting cast for the guys in the middle. The problem in the past is that we just didn't have that experience and that age depth. We've got that now. These kids can take their time. There's no pressure on these guys to step up to a point like Sam Walsh and have all these expectations, and he absolutely breaks the ceiling. not everyone's going to be a Sam Walsh. Rarely are you going to get a Sam Walsh. I think these kids can take their
He's
time
a
now.
once in a generation type player.
He is.
This is just going to become the Sam Walsh preview.
Yeah,
It very easily can.
I could turn it into an hour if you want.
No, fair enough. So how many games are you looking at for Lochie to
I've got no expectation. I'm just going to say 0.
Let him play.
I think just let him develop.
Yep, let him go. Ali says 3 games this year. We'll leave it at that and we'll move on. But we want Lochie. I want to be sitting here and reacting to this exact preview and saying, man, I got it wrong about Lochie.
Yeah, I agree.
He played 12, 13, 14 games and
I
he's
agree.
back in the fold.
Yeah, no,
Just
there'd be nothing.
makes us a finals team.
Nothing better that I would love to be wrong.
I think we need to remember that. We always want them to do well.
For sure.
So we'll move on.